what would I like to see from Marte and Ford in 2022? For Marte, just keep it rolling. Just keep things trending for Marte. Handle high A well. He doesn't have to be a superstar there because, again, he's going to be very young for the level. But ideally, that's what happens. I think he's going to mash. I think the power ticks up a little more and the hit tool will come into question a little bit more. And we're talking about Marte from now on being more of a power guy than we are, from this point. Going backwards. I think that's going to be more a part of his game, at least as a prospect. Hopefully he can use the field a little bit more, sustain respectable K rates, and continue to prove that he can handle the ground ball. But he doesn't have to be a superstar. It's okay if there's a little bit of a hiccup here at some point. He doesn't need to show out at shortstop. He's not a shortstop. I'm entirely off the idea of Marte staying on shortstop long term. But the more consistently he makes plays and throws, the more evidence will pile up that he can be very good at third base. Keeping Noelvi Marte on the dirt would be a major boon for the Mariners' attempts to build from within for the long haul. Like, if you're thinking of Marte as a Seattle Mariners player at the big league level, third base really needs to be his spot. It's not going to be shortstop. If it's the outfield, it's the outfield. But if it can be third base, it could be huge. For Ford, like Joe said, it's very early and he's just a huge, gigantic ball of tools at this point. But despite some questions about his swing and what that projects to, he's an 18-year-old kid. I think he's 2 or 3 months away from turning 19. Shown really good ability to get the barrel to the ball while swinging at strikes, but he's also swinging and missing, a little bit. They're gonna have to work, on some things there. But really, 2022 is going to be about getting him as much of the right experience as possible, whether that's full season ball or not. Defensively, with Ford, it's a little bit more of a question than it is with Marte, because I think his prospect status probably rides on it a little bit more. Depending on how much his bat develops, what do they do with him defensively? Depending on where he is defensively, how important does the bat actually become? It's a chicken and an egg kind of thing at this point. But at the first sight of catching being a daunting task for him in pro ball, I'm out. I'm pulling him and finding another spot. And there's no question that the club has thought about this and have a plan for that sort of thing. Tons of value if you can get a kid like that with that kind of athleticism. I mean, he's JT Realmuto. If he turns out to be what you think he is, he's Realmuto. He's a really good defensive catcher that can also hit and hit with some power. So do you want to give up on that idea right away? No, you don't, and they're not going to, but have a plan. Has all the tools to handle the spot, but so did Bryce Harper. And he never caught a pro game because his bat was an hour away from the big leagues when he was drafted. Just to give you a very, very extreme example of how clubs can handle situations like that. You don't want to hold back the bat. Hey, it's Jason Churchill. To get the full episode, as well as every other episode of the podcast, past and future, subscribe for as little as $5 per month by going to bit.ly/getthepod. That's bit.ly/getthepod, all one word. A link you can also find on my Twitter profile. Hey, thanks for checking out Baseball Things.